Hello everyone, hello everyone, good evening. Oh, already five people on, lovely jubbly.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, nice, yeah. So I'm joined by Omar, as you all know. So give us a few love hearts and likes, just so that everyone
Good
else
guy.
gets boosted up to see the video. So
Yeah,
how's
it's on
everyone doing?
fire.
What did you say?
It's on fire in this.
Yeah, so right, comments up, lovely jubbly. So yeah, I mean, as you all know, tonight we're just gonna have a nice chilled, relaxed, what is it, Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? It's Wednesday, isn't it? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, Wednesday.
I love the way your eyes went round, like same as me. I had no idea what is
I
going
should know because this topic's about having a job. You should know what day it is.
on. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Omar, you might hear Omar's young child in the background making a few noises.
Yeah, you might go off.
It's quite fitting with the description of the work
It
life.
is, yeah.
So yeah, let's have a look. So Janet's here, Salvatore's here, someone that hasn't signed up to StreamYard's here. So hello everyone, hello. Um, yeah, so this evening we're going to talk to Omar about the sort of having a job. I was just explaining to Omar, we're going to talk about having a job and trying to build your Amazon business and trying to get some sort of work-life balance with family. Because to be honest, I don't know. It's not a subject that I really can talk about too much because I haven't got a family of my own, and I don't actually work. I'm luckily enough to manage to full transition into Amazon. So, oh look, David just said happy birthday.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
It's not his birthday today; it's his birthday tomorrow. So,
I know Facebook's changing my date, but it's all right. It's American. They're American, right?
yeah. Yeah, so I can't talk too much about it. I thought it'd be awesome to get Omar on to discuss how he's managed to fit the sort of work life balance doing Amazon as well as his job. So, yeah, a few people have jumped on. So, I suppose let's just dive straight into it, Omar. So,
Let's go.
can you just give us sort of a general sort of background of you and what you did before Amazon and sort of where you are now, etc. Take it away.
Yeah, again, I'll just apologize for everyone if they can hear my son screaming. People with children know what it's like. Um, so I guess to start, for me, I started selling on Amazon 2018. I think it was December 2018. I can't really remember too much, but yeah, around then when I was working then, as you do, and I've always been looking for things similar to you, Hayden. What you sent a post the other day about, you're looking for things, what you do. I've tried different things in my time. I'm not that old, but I've tried a few things, different business ventures and so on and so forth. And I started looking into Amazon, but what I found at the time was private label. I didn't find too much about the arbitrage. So I was like, this works really well. You send your stuff in from China, I can work my job, and it's really hands off, which to me was perfect. So I took the gamble. I had a bit of money saved up. I put it all in, and I was a bit mad because they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I put, like, majority of it in, and it it was okay. It was a really good learning experience. I was interested in doing a course so those of you who have done courses or are on the edge of doing courses. Oh, thanks, Emma. Those of you who are on the edge of doing courses, from my experience, I would say if you're new and you are not too sure, I would say definitely consider doing a course. I know I haven't done one, but in the money I lost not doing a course, it would have been far cheaper if I did a course.
Private label.
Now, what's that? Sorry.
Private label, is that?
Yeah, yeah. So doing a course, just in Amazon, whatever it is. But if you're going to do things, because you can, it's business, right? There's people out to scam you, right? There's fake wholesalers, whatever. There's customers doing you over with swapperoos and stuff. There's all sorts of going on. PPC, and everyone. I find a business. Everyone's not nice. There's a few people, but it's hard to know. People will take your money if it's on the table, right? They'll clear you out. And that's why I was a bit skeptical about the course. I'm seeing the price, and I was like, "Oh, I can buy some more units for that. 200 more units for that course." But that Amazon will take that in just one failed shipment and just give you fair market value of £2 for a £10 item, you know. But anyway, without going off too much, it's so I done it on my own and accumulated quite a lot of debt. PPC bill was huge. It hit me like, I think it was like 10 grand or something.
This was when you were trying private label before.
Yeah, yeah. So spent a lot of money playing around with it. I managed to stabilize the product and realized that I didn't need the PPC or how I was doing as much, which is fine. Started to get profitable, paying off the debt. So I was working, paying off the debt, but I was using a lot of my own money. So my own work money, I was pumping it back into try and stabilize. But for me, I wasn't upset because I saw it all as a learning experience. I thought my mentality was if I learn and fail on these things, then I will know better. You know, I'll be more prepared than if I didn't, you know. So again, it goes back to it though. If you have a mentor or someone, and I'm not here to sell any of that. If people think he's talking about a lot, it's just from my personal experience. I would have really have liked to have a mentor, you know, that could help. My mentors with the videos. I was thinking, oh, all these free videos I'm watching, and I learned a lot. And I think you can. And want to shout out to Emma because I watched her videos on, you know, arbitrage and stuff, which I didn't really know too much about, and started giving it a go. I was like, oh, what is this weird thing selling used things or whatever in the shop? You know, what is this? But it, you know, as we all know, it works really well. You know, doing arbitrage and so on. So yeah, and so I was doing that. It's only when it got to lockdown where I went, let's say, more full into wholesale arbitrage and so on, because in lockdown my private label products boomed like crazy. They went like I couldn't even put the price up because I've never sold them for that kind of prices, and Amazon didn't like me to. They suppress your own buy books and stuff. So I wanted to sell it for more. It was like people were paying like 3, 4, 5 times, probably for other things as well. And I was just sitting, you know, down in lockdown at home, working from home, you know, because the building closed down and stuff, just money flowing, thinking this is the life. And then they made that announcement, you can't send anything else. You can't sell any more products. And I was like, oh crap, you know, what am I going to do? And I made that split decision, was like, right, I'm going to do the arbitrage because I played with it the year before a bit and I knew it worked. I just it wasn't something I wanted to do because I had a family and, you know, it didn't work for me. I'm working. I thought, how am I going to do that? It takes a lot of time.
The prepping didn't work.
Yeah, just for me, the time, you know, because I got a family, I don't know if I had a kid, a year old, but I think my wife would have been heavily pregnant or whatever. And I was like, no, I've got my 9 to 5, I've got my life, you know, I can research business and product PR, private label products. I don't need to be going rushing through the shops fighting people for bargain buckets and stuff, you know. It's like I don't need to do that. But you know, it was a bit. To be honest, I find it fun. I still do to this day. But I've done it before just because I enjoyed it a bit. I like going out finding deals. It's like treasure hunt, you know. You scan. Oh, I got a bargain.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be on sale, guys. I'm sure you know. So
do you do private label RA and OA, or what's the percentage sort of thing roughly?
yeah, and wholesale.
Oh, so what sort of, is it 25% each, or what sort of, what do you do the most? What do you do the less?
I mean, roughly, I would say right now, arbitrage, so online arbitrage and retail arbitrage is probably, let's say, 40% of the business. Then wholesale, maybe, I don't know, 10% or 15%. And I want to do that more though. And the rest is private label. So I like it because I've got a good mix of things. So some days private label might, you know, drop a bit because someone's dropping their price because it's, you know, it's product specific. It depends how things go. But then your online arbitrage stuff is booming. And then when that's a bit quiet, the other things, all the wholesale. So I think it all complements each other. You know, everyone has their own model. Like for those of you who joined when you was talking to Luke, he only likes us to do online arbitrage, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it suits his lifestyle, right? It works for him. But for me, I like to test lots of things, similar to like what Jeff does. He likes testing things, a lot. And I think that's a good way if you want to find different ways that are best suited for you. But yeah, Amazon, there's so many different models you can do within the platform itself because they have FBA. You can do merchant, you can buy stuff from wholesale, you can get private label things that unbranded that people want to buy. Very interesting. So I tried different things, and for me though, my ultimate aim is to have a nice full selection of private label products in FBA.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So when you first started out in 2018, that was obviously quite a long time ago, and obviously I'm sure you've learned a lot about how to prioritize your time and
Definitely
deal with family and deal with your job and then work around that.
I
know your business model's changed a bit, focusing more on arbitrage since the lockdown. I think that's what you said. But just from 2018 to now, how have you sort of transitioned over, and like what sort of lessons have you learned along the way on how to deal with your business whilst working your job, etc.?
Yeah, so I think that's really important. So I tried to learn a lot from other people who like business people, famous people, so on and so forth. And I think I remember when I was learning most of after work, I watch videos. Some of you may do it. There's, I don't know what they call it, life. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about, Hayden. There's
Life coaching stuff.
yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But business people who do business, but it feels like life coach because they're talking to you about how you should manage your life, how you should do this.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, I don't know if people have heard of him, called Gary Vaynerchuk, and he said something where he says quite a lot, which I still find quite interesting to this day. He says, you have to work a lot. Don't overwork yourself or you make yourself ill. So get enough sleep, get your 6 8 hours of sleep, however much you need, that you feel pumped. But when you're awake, you need to smash it. And for those who are getting started, they've got their side hustle. For a lot of people starting off is Amazon, right? They chose Amazon. Those of you who are here, you might be doing Amazon. So you've got your 9 to 5 job. That's what's paying your bill. That's important. Okay, that's your career. That's your bread and butter. Amazon's not going to cover that when you just started. More for the majority of the cases. So that transition. So he was saying you need to work after. You need to do that. 9 to 5. Then you have a few hours for family time, and then that 8 till 12. That's your second job, your hustle. You need to work hard at that, just hard as that. Every day, day in, day out, 7 days a week, whatever it is, you got to do it. And yeah, he definitely does. Can't play that around my kids. I want him to be saying the F word 9 times a day. But yeah, so for me, I thought, okay, do you know what? He makes sense. It makes sense on that. I need to apply it. For the majority of the time when I started, I was in this private label, easy money flowing, and I wasn't working hard at it like that. So when I started applying this, started to get much better results. And I think I was telling someone the other day on here that with most of the prepping I do now is over, until like 3 in the morning. I do it after midnight because it's hard to do when my son's awake and if we're prepping in my flat, he's there. He wants to touch the scissors. He wants to pull the tape. He wants to rip this and break that. He wants to climb in the box. Sometimes it's all right, but you want to get things done. So usually I wait for him to go to sleep, which could be like 11, 12. And then I try and cram in getting a whole shipment done, go to sleep 3, 5, sometimes 6 in the morning, start work at 9, And I know some people might think that's mad. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's not every day, but it is some days it's got to be done.
Wow. So you start work on Amazon usually at 8 p.m. till
So let's say from like 8. So when I finish work, I'll either go hit the stores, doing some RA or do some sourcing because I need to get products for the week. So I need to get enough to send in for that week, because as we all know, whatever you send in that week affects the next 1-2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was getting it in, getting it in. So I need to spend time to sourcing. And then I have to do the prepping, right? So, and I can't have it collecting because I don't have the space. I do it in my house. I'm getting a unit next week, Monday. So I'm getting a storage unit just because I don't have space in my flat, and it will work out better. But for those of you who are not at that stage where you have the money to cover a unit from the business, you have to do it at home, which I've had to do for all these years or whatever it's been. And you just have to deal with it. It's not nice, it's not easy, but I think if you enjoy it, there's nothing else that you want to do. Like I think I was telling you the other day in a comment, and I was saying that I feel so excited to finish my shift.
Yes.
Not so I can put my feet up and watch EastEnders, but so as soon as that time hits 5, I'm out the door, I'm sourcing products, I'm dealing with things that I've been looking forward to all day for the business. And that, for me, that excites me because it's my own thing. I can see it building, I can see the growth, I can see the learning from it, you know?
I couldn't believe that when you messaged me on the way home, and I could feel the energy through the phone when you were texting me.
So even now, like I'm buzzing for not to say I've got a rush after this, but I'm buzzing to get out there. Like, I planned it because from the night before, I think I'm in bed. I'm going to go to Sainsbury's, that one. I haven't been that one in a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy that one, that thing I've been looking for. It's just actioning it. You have to just action. And that action is what gets results after time.
So you literally grind it out, don't you? You've literally taken, and I've sort of got a similar mindset, but Gary Vee's quite an exception, as he tells you to grind, and some people just say it's not right to grind. I think you do need to grind to start with, but you've got to work hard to start with before you can start working less hard and get the more passive income.
Yeah,
but
and
you don't want to burn yourself out, because that is quite real, isn't it? So how do you deal with not burning yourself out
though? I think you just have to give yourself a break when you need it,
Okay.
So when you feel burnt out, you just have to do something that helps. Emma was saying she goes for daily walks, that's something I like to do. I like to go for a walk. I don't have time to do it that much, to be honest. It's something I want to do, but you need to do something. You have to make time to do something for yourself, for your mental well-being, your physical well-being. So let's say, like today, I'm on annual leave today. I woke up in the morning, my son woke up slapping me in the head. And then, my wife took him and I went back to sleep because she could see I was like drained because I've been smashing it out, and I slept till like, I think 11 or something, And then as soon as I got up, packing, UPS guy came at like just before 6, just got the labels on just before he came.
Yeah. Do you have like the end in sight? And when I mean the end, like, do you have like a 2 or 3 year vision that helps to motivate you through these obviously hard times sometimes, for sure?
Yes. I think that's really important. It's good that you mentioned that, because I think if you don't have like a vision or a goal of what you want to achieve from it, it's hard to do it. But equally, I think you just have to enjoy it, because I'm always someone from young, when I started in the workplace and something, I've never liked to work for people, I mean, I love my job now, and I say that I work for a charity now, for a national charity. So I enjoy helping people and so on, but it's not my long-term life plan career. Businesses, it's just something that's itching in my bones. Like I have to do it, and I can't do anything else. So yeah, so back on your point, it's my personal long-term plan is to scale up a business model that once it starts to operate on its own, as in I have staff or processes and automation in place where it's a lot hands off. I don't actually have to physically be in that location dealing with things. I'm sort of, doing like more CEO type stuff, the direction and steering the ship of the business. then I want to go and do like a Richard Branson and live on on an island somewhere, or another. I love hot weather. I want to be in a nice sunny place somewhere, where I £2 grand a month I can live like a king.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so for me that's my end game, and I know that doing business with this model, there's probably people making well over £2,000 a month that they can take out,
Well,
comfortably.
who did I have? Luke Filer, wasn't it? Luke Filer, did you
Yeah,
say?
exactly. Yeah. So
Six,
he
7,000 net.
yeah, he's doing the model that I want to do, but the reason I'm not doing what he's doing now is because you know what they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever heard that saying? Like what I'm doing is now is working for me. Yeah, it's harder work. Yes, because I was listening to when he said, he was like, if your plan is to be like, like a digital nomad or something, he said, then why not do it now? Why not do automation now? But for me, I wouldn't say I'm a bit of a Scrooge, yeah, but for me, I'm all about maximizing growth because I feel like I've wasted so much of my life getting things wrong. When something works, I have to smash it, which is why I'm keeping my job. You know,
That's pretty interesting. Yeah. What? So you don't want to let go of your job until you know this is definitely going to be solid.
yeah, and you know what? I would rather hire staff and pay them a wage than me quit my job and take the salary, if that makes sense. It sounds a bit crazy.
Obviously, not forever.
Yeah, not forever, not forever. But I know, it sounds crazy, but for me, because that works out better. Because if I pay someone, let's say I have some part-time staff, and I know that, let's say the packing a week, if you calculate all the hours, it's probably a part-time job.
Yeah.
So if you hired someone to do that, the packing for you, that's like what part-time at £800 a month or something, let's say. If I quit my job, I'm losing more than 800 a month. So I'd rather hire someone, then all that packing's done, then I can focus on another part like sourcing or building relationships with wholesalers and manufacturers and so on in my spare time, in my 8 till 3.
Okay, and until you're comfortable enough to actually feel like it's the right time to leave. Yeah, that makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I need to now. I would like to, but I don't think I need to. The more time for me, it's about time and patience. The more time I can carry on what I'm doing, the faster I can scale the business and like catch up, so to speak, with the time I feel that I missed out not putting everything, because I can just pump the money back in now. When the money comes, I haven't taken out anything for myself since I
that's
started.
mental. That's crazy.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I've been times where I've struggled to pay my bills and things like that from my job, because that's how most people are living. A lot of people, I don't want to say most, but a lot of people living like that. If you live in London, you understand. You pay your rent, you pay your bills, you pay your car insurance, blah blah blah, food. You've got maybe a couple hundred left, and you've got to buy some emergency things. MOT, this, that. You know,
Okay.
and you don't have too much left. But for me, it's okay because I know I've got this business that I'm building.
Yeah,
Whereas if
yeah.
I didn't have that, and I'm thinking, is this my life?
Do you think it motivates you seeing the business grow? Because obviously your bank account must be
No
growing
doubt.
within the
Yeah,
business because you haven't
yeah,
taken.
yeah.
So that's
No
obviously
doubt.
motivation. Yeah. Okay. Because
No doubt.
in the early days, I personally did, and I'm sure a lot of people that have just started do as well. I found it hard in the early days, not seeing. You don't really see much growth in the business in terms
Yeah,
of
I didn't.
value of your bank account, do you? Because it's just getting reinvested in stock. So if anything, you just see it go down. I found it really hard because until you're doing a few thousand units, a
Yeah,
month, maybe, but maybe
yeah.
1,500 minimum, you're not really going to see much growth, depending on how valuable your items are, obviously, in
Mm.
terms of the sort of value of the business. So it's quite hard for motivation when you're starting out for that reason, I think. So you may let's just say hello to a few people in the comments.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so evening, Janet, Salvatore, Luke, Carwell. There's so many hundreds of Lukes, I better say their surname, the Luke. David Wilson. Well, I just said Wilson's surname. Wilson. I'll call him Wilson now. David said, "Why are you lying for?" I think that was about his birthday. Everyone knows it's Omar's birthday tomorrow, but for some reason Facebook decided to give us all a notification today next to his name. So
I probably got the wrong date, to be honest.
yeah, I said happy birthday when we jumped on the call earlier. Emma says happy birthday. Sean says hi all. Happy birthday, Omar.
Thank you.
Shiraz says can see now. Andrea says, me too. Emma Hamilton's videos pushed me to start. That's interesting. And Emma's videos are great. I think Emma was one of the first, probably the first person I saw with the online arbitrage space on YouTube when I was researching. So yeah, if you haven't checked her out, have a look. Amazon FBA Dream. Sean says, love Emma Hamilton bids. Vids, yeah. Sean bids, yeah. Natalie says, hey. Says Gary V's probably said the F word 9 times in the sentence. Yeah,
he does.
Oh yeah, he does swear a little bit, doesn't he? Kaz says, hey. Alison says, hat off to you, Omar. Hats off.
Thank you.
Salvatore says, I feel the same. When I'm doing the day job, I look forward to it in the evening to work on my Amazon business. So,
yeah, that's it. It's a special feeling to know. I think it motivates you to do your day job. You know, for a lot of people who do that, you know, like Salvador, myself, I think it motivates you because before, when I'd have a job and I'm sitting there, you're doing maybe mundane tasks or whatever it is. I'm not saying Salvador's job's mundane, but sometimes, you know, in your job, you're doing tasks and so on. And if you're an entrepreneur in heart, you're just thinking about your business, right? That's whatever it is you're thinking about, that's on your mind, and you just can't wait to go and do it. So if you didn't have that, you'd be doing your job thinking, what can I do? I'm not doing anything. I can't take this. You know, this is it. This is my life, working this job.
Yeah. It can actually free your mind up a little bit, can't you? Like, you know, because it's almost a breath of fresh air when you go to a workplace. I found in the past when I was trying to work on another business. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. So
I'll give you. Oh, go on. I was going to say I'll give you a quick funny story. I was going to give you a quick funny story on that about the mindset. So because I think a lot of people who are here, you know, even if they're working at jobs, they have a special type of mindset that employees don't necessarily have. Even if you're an employee, but you could be an entrepreneur at heart, right? So I remember once it was Halifax whoever came to my workplace, and they were talking about retirement plans, investments, and pensions. And, you know, so you have to book it. So I booked it because I'm interested in, you know, these topics. So I went to the thing, other staff colleagues there, and they're talking about, oh, if you invest this much a month, this is how much. They showed a graph. This is how much you'll have if you invested it in blah, blah, blah at retirement over 20 years. And if you had a pension, this is how much you get, you know, over the time. And I was like, and they were talking about, so at the end, they was like, you know, ask people what they do. They asked me, and I said, oh, well, I counsel my pension. And they were like, what? You get a really good pension plan. You know, we pay like whatever it was, 5 times, you know, the amount into my workplace by 5 times what you put in. And I was like, yeah, but I'd rather have that £80 and invest it that I put in. And they was like, so what are you going to do when you retire? Everyone's looking at me like I'm a crazy person, you know, like I'm nuts. What are you going to do when you retire? And I was like, you know, the investment graph, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing to people that haven't got the sort of slight entrepreneurial mindset, isn't it? About like sort of thing like pension. They just don't get it. But that's okay. It's good that everyone doesn't think the same, isn't it? Otherwise we'd all be in the same boat.
Always, yeah, definitely. So yeah, go on,
Kaz Grafter. Lauren, my sister, says, hey, I moan when we are prepping until 10 p.m. Can't imagine much later than that. You really do it until 3 a.m. sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes 6.
You work at 8 or something.
Yeah, 10. So I'll get up a bit earlier. I've been working at home since the lockdown, so it helps a lot. I don't need to battle the commute.
Yeah. Wow. Salvatore says I do 10-minute yoga every morning to loosen up.
Yeah, that's good.
I've just got a picture of Salvatore loosening up with yoga now.
It's good. It's good.
Ray says same here. Freezing showers first. Ray has
wow.
showers.
I've tried those. They're actually really good. They're refreshing, but it's you have to pump yourself up so much to get into a free
Yeah.
shower. You have to like psych yourself up in the morning. I'm too soft for that.
I think like once a year I watch a motivational video and I get like really inspired to get in a cold
Yeah,
shower.
yoga in the morning.
And you get, even when you watch the motivation, you get to the shower and you're like, oh, I don't know about that, and then
Yeah,
you slowly turn it to what? Well, I do it.
relax.
Obviously, Ray's just yeah, really good at it. Ben Houseman says digital nomad is an awesome way of putting it. Yeah, awesome. Cindy says, yep, London bills. I think Cindy lives in London. Do you live in London, Cindy? Salvatore says, Omar, does your company know you do Amazon? And if so, are they okay with it?
Yeah, they do actually. As I said, I work for a charity, so it's not like I'm any threat or competition to them for anything, right? I remember we had like a work lunch or something a few years ago, and I was sitting opposite my director and for my directorate, and he was like, "Oh, Omar, so what do you do? What does your wife do?" And we was like, "Oh, well, on the side, we do like we have like a business." And he was like, "Oh, like what, Etsy or something?" And I was like, "No." I felt like I don't know why I felt offended. I was like, "No, Amazon." He was like, "Amazon?" Like he was a bit confused. Like he said, like he didn't even know you could sell on Amazon. He was like, "Amazon," but he looked like he was thinking, "Hmm." He looked like a light bulb. Was like, maybe I should tell my wife to. So he seemed a bit interested, but yeah, so they know. I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's nice. Good to know. Yeah, I'd say you're not competition, are you? So,
Yeah.
unless you, yeah, right. Lorraine says, "Hey Hayden." Hey Lorraine. Emma says, "Never tried cold shower. We'll have to add it to my list of things to try." You could do. Yeah, yeah. I watched Tom Bilyeu. I don't know if you know him. He's quite a fan of the cold shower, and he does it religiously. So it could be good.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Let me have a look at Facebook for these comments. Oh, here we go. Because StreamYard doesn't show you the comments, unfortunately.
Mm.
Let's have a look. Yeah. So, it's Luke Howell. Luke, please sign up to StreamYard. You're a moderator in the group. Cold water therapy is life changing. 10 days in 10 days in now, loving it. So much energy working out twice a day.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Alexander says winter swims. Try it out, guys. Best thing ever. Nice. Cindy says South London. She lives in South London. That's interesting.
I'm in North London.
Oh, North. Okay. So,
yeah.
Right. What are the key learnings that you've learned to sort of get a better understanding of how you work and how you can sort of balance it all? Like, what sort of advice have you got for someone that is struggling to just get the work done and work?
I think the most important thing and the key thing that I've learned is work with your family. And I say that meaning use the resources that you have available. If you've got family that you're close with, and even they might be working or they can help you, maybe it's your missus, your siblings, your parents, whoever, try to get them on board to help out. Don't be afraid to ask them to help, because they can really help you scale your business, and you can bring them in, you can bring them in when you're, give them some money, help them out as well. It doesn't have to be freebies all the time. But if they're really close with them like that, and they'll work for free with you, because really, if you're doing things and you've got a good family connection, it's for everyone, it's not just for you. If you see it that way, and they know you're like that, then they know if you make it, they've made it too. So
that's nice.
I think that's key learning for me. My wife helps me the most. She does a lot of the packing. She's up late nights when I'm like, I've got this busy meeting and stuff in the morning. I can't do a 3 a.m. She'll stay up and do it on her own, the packing, knowing that she has to wake up to take care of our son when he's up early.
Really, how you do it?
Yeah, it's a joint effort. Yeah, but I think I was talking to you, before we started the meeting. I was saying that for those people who are mothers and have children, you know, they understand, but for men, they might not understand so much because I didn't, and I was putting more pressure on her to do things in the business. And I'm like, look, I do X, Y, and Z, you do whatever, ABC, and that's your job, and I do my bits, and that's how we work together. That's how I envisioned it. But it's only when I told you she got the flu and we was in lockdown and I had to take care of our son for a few days from sun up to sunset, or 24 hours a day, basically. When people say it's a full-time job, it says while they're awake that, you know, they are on you like a orangutan, you know. They're literally on your back. You can't leave them alone. You can't take your eye off them because they're trying to eat weird things they found, you know, labels, scissors, and they're trying to break your printer, everything. So yeah, it's full time. You have to just have them. And then after that, I realized that she has a full-time job. Her full-time job's not Amazon. So anything she can do to help now for me, I really appreciate as a bonus, you know, to help, not for me, but for our business, any time she can spare. So yeah, I think working together with people is one of the huge learnings. If you're by yourself and you have a job and you don't have kids and someone to help you, you know, then if you're by yourself, is I think it's easier as well because you don't have the responsibilities, but equally you don't get the help. But then you know, you can just chip away at it. You do your job, just suck it up, do the packing after work, right? Do the sourcing after work. You won't, you have to sacrifice other social things, you know, but manage your time, but make time for your family, for giving yourself, you know, something to do, exercise, because those things are important for your mental well-being, and you need to stay sharp, you need to be refreshed when you're trying to figure out things in business. So those are my biggest learnings: working with people, managing, you know, my expectations, understanding that it's a long-term thing. It's You're gonna slug it out for the foreseeable future. I don't have like, oh, at this date, that's it, I'm gonna finish. To me, it's like I am doing this for the next maybe 5-10 years. I don't know, until I feel right now this time I can implement something else.
Do you know, that's one thing that, let me just pick up on this before we move on. That's one thing that I've picked up on everyone that I've interviewed so far in this group. They've all, as a collective, they've all said, not in the exact words, but they've all said that they're not in a rush and that they're in it for the long term. And the funny thing is, they're all really successful. Like they're in their own right, and they're all on to be even more successful. And they're just chilled because they know that this is the path for them, that they're just going to be on it for a very long time. And that seems to be exactly what you're saying as well. You're not worried about it too much because you're just sort of letting it happen and you're working it out as it goes, because you know the path for you and you're going to be on it for 5-10 years, however long you said, and the rest. And that's a massive learning. So to start with, you sort of said at the beginning of the interview that you like to get out and get some exercise. No, the first thing you said was the grinding. You've got to work hard at the moment.
Yeah.
This state.
You have to.
And then you said exercise.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Amazon is you have the freedom. So I don't want to put people off who are maybe in a position and thinking, you know, I came here thinking there's going to be some silver lining, you know, this is crazy. I don't want to demotivate anyone like that, because if anyone missed, you know, with Luke's video, you know, checking with what he does, because he's on full automation. He's in where is now, Spain or somewhere. I don't know.
I almost flew over and saw him. Yeah. So
yeah. See,
watch that video. Just go back a few on the.
Yeah.
Just have a look.
Yeah. Please, you know, watch that, because that's how he likes, and he doesn't have dependents and stuff. But if you did, he's on full automation anyway, so you don't have to do that. So what I do isn't always suited for anyone, but I don't know. I just find it exciting. It's weird. I just like it. I mean, exercise, to be honest, I don't really exercise. I'll be honest with you, Hayden. I don't.
No. I meant like getting out for a walk and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Getting some. I think
Forrest's version of exercise, which is just a walk outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just, you know, get some fresh air. It's good for you. You know, do what you can do. Do you know, even if it's something that just some sort of leisure thing, you know, just do some sort of leisure, even if it's not exercise. Something you enjoy to take your mind off it. Factor that in your time.
And then the next thing you said was having a long-term vision, possibly shared with your partner.
Yeah, that's important. That's important to share the vision. If your partner's, if you're not working together on the same thing, you know, so share it with them. If you haven't discussed with them, share it with them. Say, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. Like for me, another one of my long-term visions is actually to get out of Amazon. As crazy as that might sound, the reason I say that is because right now I say this has to be the biggest opportunity of the century. Amazon, right? It's huge, but none of us know what the future is. It's not to scare everyone. I honestly, I don't see Amazon going anywhere, and if they did, I reckon another company would replace that model because it's so lucrative. But I don't like to depend on one thing. So for example, right now I'm trying to get more involved in properties. That's why I said to you I want to talk to you about that at some point. I'm interested in you know, property investments. I'm interested in other things. So I want to develop a business model where I'm still selling on Amazon, but I have something, it's more independent now.
So multiple streams of income. So you still Amazon, but as an income stream rather than the main income stream.
Exactly, yeah. Because when it's your main thing, if it's suspended, you're in a bit of a predicament. But if it's one of a few, you know, you can't go as deep into it because you're investing money in other things. But for me, it makes sense to split up, you know, diversify your income a little bit.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. 100%. It's multiple streams of income to me is the most important thing. It's like it's a necessity these days, I think. Especially your account can get restricted, and usually, you know, you can get it back, but it still could be for 2 or 3 weeks, a month, 3 months until you
Yeah, I mean, even if it's something as simple as just selling on eBay as well, you know, and not just you selling your rejected stock from Amazon, like actually building a model. Because you know, some people here in the comments were saying that they watched, you know, Emma's videos, and they brought. I told Emma a while ago that my friend stumbled across her videos and was like, "Oh, what's all this about? You know, I heard you doing you used to tell me Amazon," but he wasn't interested. But when he actually watched the video, he was like, "What? You can actually get that from Dunelm and sell it and make money?" And then I was like, "Yeah, pretty much." And then he started doing it, but for some reason he didn't like. He was a bit scared of Amazon. He signed up. They didn't approve his account for like 4 months. You know what Amazon's like sometimes, and then he just started. In the meantime, he wanted to get started. He started selling on eBay, and he started doing private label on eBay and arbitrage. And he's selling at the moment. He's been selling, let's say maybe 2 3 months, and he's selling at the moment like 50 60 units a day.
Wow.
His average profit, he was saying, was about £2 3 after, you know, eBay fees, postage.
Yeah. It can be good. I used to drop ship on eBay a lot, like, you know,
Yeah.
thousands a month, and it was, the sales were there, but I had hundreds of thousands of listings, I think. So I wasn't sure the opportunity was as big, but I think it is still very big.
I
I've got
agree.
sellers coming on the show next week, actually, a couple that are going to talk about how they started and how
Yeah,
they do.
that's really good. Yeah.
Just go through a few more comments here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't, it's up to you if you want to share this, but Ben Houseman said, what's your annual revenue per year? You don't have to share if you don't want to. Completely up to you.
So this might seem like a complete cop out, but this is something I'm so bad at, and it's one of my weaknesses, and it's why I got an accountant, because when I started till today, I do not have a clue what's going on. I just look at my bank account and I see that the money's increasing is good.
You know what's seller board or anything?
What's that?
You know what's seller board or anything like that?
No,
Like,
nothing. I don't even have Buybot Pro, none of that. I'm a bit like
wow.
old school. I sort of like I weigh things with my hand, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, in terms of sales, if I can see that 12-month sales, I think in the last 12 months, like I'm not a complete imbecile. Like before I buy something, I'll do the maths, and then I'll set the minimum, and then I'll work with that. So that's how I sort of manage things. So I think in sales, I've done about like £250,000 sales in 12 months, and the percentage I try to work through is 10 to 30%, sometimes more, sometimes a bit less.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you haven't got a software or all your profits worked out.
Nothing, and it's probably silly that I worked at that, but I think for me, I've always been slow to try new things. Like for me, it's like, oh, I have to learn this new thing, you know. So if it's like working, like Emma had to push me so hard to get Profit Protector Pro because I was manually changing all my prices with penny droppers.
That's crazy. I think that's like for a whole other video. So Tom Kerr says, I'm thinking about selling the product I sell at work on Amazon. Maybe a conflict of interest, but would ultimately bring them increased revenues. Interesting. Luke Cowell says, I'm not sure why it isn't working. Something to do with his laptop. So interesting. And that's because it's StreamYard. Yeah. Laura says, hi, thanks for the link. I've missed the biggest part. As Cindy says, yeah, you'll be able to catch up afterwards. It will stay in the group, and it also on YouTube, so don't worry about that. Cindy said, I've tried paying my kids. They're not interested. Maybe when the profits start coming in, or maybe I'm not paying them enough. Great to hear your wife is involved. So I'm guessing you haven't employed your younger one yet that's making the noises in the background.
You know what? I actually thought I'd have to wait for him to get older before I get a return on my investment with him. But he's actually been learning quite quickly. He's just over a year old now. Nice. And he'll empty boxes. I think kids like to empty boxes. Really? So I've tasked him now strategically with I'll put a box, open it when they've come in, and he'll just empty it all out for me. So I've got a bit of free extra labor there from him.
Oh, there you go. So it's worth all the bills that you pay for him, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Andrea says, this is true. My missus lost her job beginning of the pandemic and she started helping me. She's more happy than ever having a schedule of her own. Also, my younger brother looks forward to helping me with everything as soon as he turns 18 and can come over. That's nice. That's lovely. Nice. Get the family involved. You can trust family 100% usually, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Salvatore says, my partner is starting to help out with sourcing. Just started training her, so hopefully things will speed up.
Good.
Maybe I'm the one missing out here because I do everything myself, and I haven't got a partner. Actually, what I'm talking about, my mum used to help me prep in my unit, so
that's good.
Yeah, so she did. Salvatore, I just said that. Luke says, when do you think your Amazon earnings will surpass your income, or has it already?
To be honest, I think based on what I've said, like the sort of sales are and percentage, I think it has. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm terrible at maths, and I'm waiting for my accountant to. I've had him a few months now. I'm waiting for him to let me know, but he has told me. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Do you think you leaving the money in the business means that you're not going to have to pay tax on it?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I did think that." He was like, "No, they're going to want their cut from it." He's like, "Pay yourself, pay your wife, pay somebody." Something so they don't have to take it, even if it's the minimum tax threshold that's like 800 a month. So I think so I think it is over. But for me, as I was saying earlier in the thing, I would rather use that money and hire someone to then take over like a huge part, which would be that I'm getting a storage unit next week. So instead of paying myself things, but it would mean I'd probably need to continue as it is. I'd want to scale the business with that money. Which would be quicker for me, and I can still do my job.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be taking a massive bonus for myself if I was you, but that's just me. Everyone thinks. Ben says, Ben Houseman says, my wife packs up the sold MF sales while I'm working, which is awesome. We went out sourcing the other day while the kids were at school and just shows what we are trying to head for. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, really long-term vision. I think long-term is the only way you can think of this. Like as you said that you're also working on another income stream potentially soon. I, if this can be a long-term income stream, I believe, and if you want it for long-term, you just got to think in a long-term way, haven't you? Like everything I do is long-term. You know, like anything else is just not even worth doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true.
Laura says, "Are you hoping to sell on Amazon full time?"
I feel like it is full time, to be honest. I think it is full time. I do definitely do more than 8 hours a day. I think so. That's
You
full
are.
time. I feel like I have two full time jobs.
I think what she means is probably, are you looking to get rid of your job? I think she joined a bit later and didn't hear
Oh
me.
yeah, definitely. I'm looking to leave my job. I think for me, when I would want to leave my job is when my job is getting in the way too much.
Yeah,
That's how I think of things. At the moment, I can hire people to do the packing and things that take up my too much of my time. And when it gets to the point where I need to manage a bit more, people or processes and things and delegate, and it's just getting in the way of what I need to do, then I need to think, okay, it's getting in the way of things. It needs to go. But at the moment, it's not too much. The lockdown, I can work from home, and so on. So it's not too difficult.
nice. Salvatore says, my long-term plan is to invest part of the profit in property. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Sean says, Amazon has 17,000 of my money now and froze my payment. Same
Oh,
Thomas Parkinson. People need to be aware your payments can stop at any time. Yeah. See, I spoke to someone the other day. I think it was Lou Cowell in the group, and he said he had thousands in his account, and I said you need to. I would personally say that you need to take it out maximum when it gets to £1,000, so that you haven't got too much money sitting in there. That's what I do. I take
I
it out.
think, I think Natalie was saying she does the reimbursement daily,
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah,
and you
it's,
should, because you don't want them holding on. I know they hold like 45 days worth, so if you're doing big numbers, it could be 17K or
yeah,
when it comes through. So
yeah. Sean does do some big numbers, so that's probably what's happened with him.
yeah,
Yeah. So Cindy says, I love how chilled Omar is.
a lot of people say that about me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sean just said I was taking payments daily. Now I can't. So yeah, it's just crazy. So I hope you get that sorted soon. Anyway, massive action. So
Yeah, I wonder why, if it's suspended or something. Definitely needs to look into that.
yeah, strange. So Omar, that sounds great. Anyway, so basically, just to summarize again, so you think that you've got to put in the graft, put in the hard work to start with, just like any business, and then also you make sure that you do get some sort of step back of your own time if things do get a little bit tough, and then you also said working on the vision with your partner was really important as well.
Mm.
Is there any other key points that you think people should know if they're sort of struggling for motivation or like struggling to balance running this business?
Yeah, I think people need to understand that with business, it may seem like it's the only way how you're doing things, but it's not. You can completely change how you're working, how you're doing things. Again, I keep going back to Luke, but he's a perfect example. There's different things you can do. Some people just do online, people do a mixture of all of it, like me. So, if you're not sure, there's so many, sellers here with their own experiences. Even if they're new, they might have experiences from different things. Just, I think, talking to people, and then you understand you're not alone. There's solutions to your problems, and there's a way there's ways that you can do things differently that's better suited to your personality. And I
Mm.
think that's what's key, because if you look at jobs, there's jobs where someone might do reception, someone might do sales just on commission, right? Because their personalities are different. Now, if you swap their jobs, they'd go crazy. The sales guy wants to be out there, he wants to be in it. The receptionist might be happy just to relax and get their money at the end of the day, or month. So it's you need to understand yourself, how you are, and I think self-awareness is really key to what are you like, what makes you happy, and what's your long-term goal, and then start changing things slowly to work towards that. Steer the ship. It's hard, but steer it in a different direction. If you really think, I don't like this, it's not going in the direction I want. I like the money, but there's other ways you can make money. I'm not saying, and even on Amazon, as I say, I'm not saying stay away from Amazon, but just have a sit down, give yourself some time, have a whole rethink onto what you want to do. Be self-aware.
I think that's great. That's really nice. Yeah, because I was in I had my own unit a few months ago.
Nice, yeah.
And I got rid of that about a month ago. Obviously, it's going to affect cash flow a bit, a fair bit. It's not affecting it as much as I thought it would, but it's going to affect my net profit. But I literally would rather have had a job than be prepping that many items in the year. Personally, so that was doing what you just said, where I took a step back and I assessed things, and I thought that I hate the most in this business is prepping. Going to that unit, it was a dingy unit. Don't get me wrong, it was a nice unit. But it had no windows. I felt slightly depressed in it. It was just like I didn't want to be there, and I thought I'm not doing this anymore. There's got to be.
There you go.
So I made it work, and then I managed to find a way to find more profit in my items, because humans are quite good when you're forced to do something, you usually find a way to do it. And I was forced to up my net profit per item, and I managed to do it because I thought it's either that or I've got to pack this in, and there's no way I'm packing it in. So I think that's the point you made there.
You're a living example of living it in practice.
Yeah, just not doing what you don't want to do. Yeah,
exactly. And it's still, and as you said, you found ways around it to improve the profits and make it work. So you didn't just have to live and be miserable and think, that's it, I'm going to pack up all Amazon. You're like, no, that's not an option. I'm going to change things and make it. Now you look happy. So great.
And I think this resonates also with what your point was earlier, where you said that you're in it for the long term. And that's the same here as well. It's not like if there's something wrong, it took me 3 months to get rid of the unit or whatever, for 3-4 months. I didn't make the decision overnight. And also, if it doesn't work, then I can just go back to the unit. So it's like, because we're in it for the long term, it's like a test, isn't it? It's like a test of everything can be tested incrementally. You don't have to just make a decision and then that's it. So
that
was great. Omar, it's been lovely.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's been nearly like an hour.
Yeah,
I don't. Everyone's probably left. They're probably bored. It's like, it was good for 5 minutes.
Live.
I put them to sleep. I put Cindy to sleep.
There's still a fair few people on. Have you got any final words that you want to say to everyone?
No, I don't think. I mean, if anyone wants to reach out to me, if they've got questions they don't want to say in the comments or anything, I'm happy to talk to them, about it. So yeah. Oh, Cindy's still here.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Omar, it's been lovely. Have an amazing birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I really, really appreciate you inviting me on here. I think it was good to talk about it with everyone and yourself. Yeah, I look forward to watching your next shows.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye. Hit the shops.